Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in tonight's In This Together. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and there's nothing better for our mental health and well-being than the practice of mindfulness. So all of our In This Together talks for the month of May are focusing on mindfulness as a practice for mental health and well-being. Each week we're going to explore a different aspect of mindfulness and how we can use it to get us to a place of peace and clarity, and most especially self-compassion as we move through some of the troubling times we're experiencing in our world. And tonight we're stepping into something both incredibly simple and quietly life-changing. It's not complicated. It's not something you have to master or get right. It's just something you can practice. Because let's be honest, we're living in a world that pulls our attention in 1,000 different directions. We have all of those notifications, bells and flags and things going off all the time. We've got our day-to-day responsibilities and our concerns about the future. We've got that ever-endless to-do list that we're constantly checking off. Or we're spending time replaying past events. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, we can lose touch with the one place where life is actually happening, the right here and right now. So tonight's not about adding one more thing to your to-do list. It's about remembering how to be here for your life. Mindfulness isn't often talked about as a technique. It's something you do for 10 minutes. It's something you practice and check off. But that's really too small. Mindfulness is actually a way of living, a way of meeting your life day to day. It's choosing to be present for your experience with awareness, with self-compassion, and without immediately trying to fix it or judge it or run away from it. And I want to say this very clearly. Mindfulness is not about becoming calm all the time. It's about becoming aware of what's really happening in you and learning how to be with it without being overwhelmed by it. Now, this practice of mindfulness isn't new. It comes out of ancient contemplative traditions, especially out of Buddhism, where people have been sitting and breathing and observing their inner world for thousands of years. In our modern world, people like Jon Kabat-Zinn have helped bring this into our everyday life, into hospitals, into stress reduction programs, and into our mental health care. And what that tells us is something very important. You don't have to be spiritual to practice mindfulness. You don't have to follow a specific tradition to practice mindfulness. You just have to be willing to pay attention to what's going on inside of you. So let me ask you something, not for you to answer out loud, but just to notice within yourself. How often are you actually here for your own life? Not thinking about what's coming up next or replaying what's already happened, but simply being present with what is for you right now. For most of us, I'd say not often. We live on what I call autopilot. And autopilot has a big cost. It disconnects us from our bodies, it disconnects us from our emotions, and it disconnects us from each other. And over time, that disconnection shows up as stress, anxiety, reactivity, exhaustion. Mindfulness interrupts that pattern. It gives you a moment to pause. And that pause, that's where your power is. Because in that moment, you are no longer just reacting. You're choosing. Now, research backs this up. But honestly, you don't need research to feel it. When you slow down and come back to the present moment, your nervous system begins to settle. Your thoughts become clearer. Your emotions seem less overwhelming and more workable. And your body actually begins to soften. You've moved from surviving your life to actually participating in it, in that pause. So what is mindfulness really? Well, at its core, it's this: paying attention to the present moment with openness and without judgment. That's it. Now, inside of that are a few key qualities. The first one is present, being in the present moment. That is the most critical thing, is to actually be here now with it. Secondly, is the awareness, noticing what's happening, noticing what you're thinking, noticing what's moving through you. The most important part of this, though, is the non-judgmental part. It's what the Buddhists call equanimity. It's observing it, being aware of it, and not reacting to what's happening around you. There are a couple of other components that are important in mindfulness. One of them is to be intentional. Purposely choosing, intentionally choosing to be here right now. And then also compassion. Treating yourself with kindness as you become aware of what's going on. So let's be clear here. You're not trying to empty your mind. You're not trying to become perfectly peaceful. You're learning how to notice what's happening and staying with it, not running away from it or avoiding it. And here's where people get tripped up. They say, I tried mindfulness, but my mind wouldn't stop thinking. Well, of course it wouldn't. That's what minds do. Thinking isn't the problem. Getting lost in the thoughts without awareness, that's the problem. So when your mind wanders, and it will, the practice is simply this. Notice the thoughts, and gently bring yourself back. And that moment of returning, that's not a failure. That's the practice. That's the whole point of it. And so if you're just starting this mindfulness practice, start small. Give yourself 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Consistency is much more important than the duration of time that you spend in it. Create a rhythm. Same time, same place. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Because mindfulness without compassion, it's just another way to judge yourself and beat yourself up. And that defeats the whole purpose of it. So let's not talk about it, let's experience it. Because mindfulness isn't something you understand, it's something that you practice. So go ahead and get comfortable. You can close your eyes if you like, or soften your gaze. And let's just begin by noticing. Notice that you're breathing. Feel the breath coming into your body. Feel it exhaling out of your body. Maybe you're exhaling through your nose or your mouth. Notice the movement of your torso as you breathe in and out. This isn't about changing it or making it deeper or anything else. There's no right way to breathe. Don't have to control it. You don't have to make it what you think it should be. Just notice it. Notice the inhale. Notice the exhale. Maybe you feel the breath in your chest, or in your belly, or at your nostrils. Wherever you're feeling it right now, just rest your awareness there. And as you do, your mind will wander, and that's okay. When it does, when you notice it has wandered, just gently say to yourself, thinking, and bring your awareness back to your breath. No judgment, no frustration, just returning to your breath. Again and again. Let your breath be the anchor that keeps you in the present moment. Let it bring you back to this present moment. There's nothing here to fix. There's nothing to change. Just this breath. Now, when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back. That's it. It's that simple and that powerful. Because what you just practiced is the foundation of emotional resilience. Not controlling your experience, but learning how to be with it. And so as you move through your week, try this. Pick a moment, sometime during the day. Make it consistent. Choose that time now, purposefully. Just one moment where you can pause, spend a few moments with your breath, noticing when your mind wanders, and it will, bringing your awareness back to your breath. This is not about escaping our life, it's about becoming more with it. We don't need any more information now. We need more presence. We need more connection with ourselves. We need more consciousness. And the truth is, you already have everything you need to begin. Your breath is always with you. You can't go anywhere without it. And this moment, this perfect moment, is always available to you. And awareness, it's already within you. We're just learning how to return to it again and again and again. So I invite you to choose a time for yourself this week. Make it a consistent time. Maybe it's first thing in the morning. Maybe it's as you sit down to have your morning coffee. Maybe it's at your lunch break. Last thing before you go to bed. Whatever works for you. That when you can take 2, 3, 4 minutes of just pausing, breathing, keeping your awareness on your breath, and when your mind wanders, just say thinking and bring it right back to your breath. Again and again. It's baby steps. It's training ourselves to look at life differently, to know that we don't have to get caught up in all those emotions that are swirling around us. We don't have to get caught up in somebody else's trauma or drama. We don't have to get caught up in anything else. We can always find a moment to bring our attention to our breath. Thank you for being here with us. Remember, we are in this together. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week.